wanted to talk about it. I don't think so many people have the same opinion, but I really like the first one, and that's Kerbal Space Program 2.
Kerbal Space Program 2. Alright, let's search for that real quick.
You know, if you guys are familiar with the first one, I think Steven, you are a little bit just from me
You got me
playing
into it.
Yeah.
Kerbal Space Program 2. Do we have gameplay for this? Oh, cinematic announcement trailer is what we got.
This game is actually pretty hyped. Like, there's a lot of people looking forward to this game.
Give me just a couple of minutes. I'm gonna be right back, guys. I have like 2 more, and then I'll be right back.
Okay.
You in space. What is up with you in space, Gucci?
Space is gorgeous, man.
Yes,
The
it
final
is.
frontier.
Yes, it is the final frontier. It's what you
Either
meet Jesus.
humanity will live long enough to make it to space, or humanity won't make it at all.
So I'm curious if this game is gonna have like first-person view. How awesome would that be?
So, the first one had a little bit of first-person view. You could get a little bit of the Kerbal's point of view in the spaceship, but you mostly didn't use it that a whole lot.
How much time would you say you put into the first one?
I'd have to look. I would say easily over 100 hours, though, for sure.
No kidding.
Easily, yeah. I mean, most of that is just like, messing around with what works the best. I've put
Building the right ship.
100 hours in the game, and the game is pretty challenging. And I think the biggest accomplishment I've made in over 100 hours is making it to the moon and making it back from the moon in the same trip.
Yeah, I remember you were hyped up about that. Yeah, so this game gives you full customization. Like the physics are accurate. You have to build a balanced ship with enough fuel to get you to your destination, right? Is that
Yes,
summing
completely.
it up pretty good?
Extremely accurate when it comes to physics, and applying science to space is its own category.
That's well put.
Getting into orbit and changing that orbit, trying to do a mid-orbit rescue, very difficult task. There are a lot of mods out that help you because it is very difficult. You're pretty much trying to calculate everything in the numbers. But yeah, this one just looks like a massive expansion into colonizing planets. Versus the first one, I've seen crazy space stations. I've seen people making makeshift stations and on other planets. But I think the biggest thing that this really is going to showcase is being able to colonize other planets and doing space missions on those planets. So a big thing that was like in the first one that was really cool is you got to think about gravity on other planets. So landing on a denser planet versus landing on the moon is going to be a lot harder. So you've really got to save a lot of fuel. Versus the moon has a light gravity. You don't really have to do a big burst or anything like that. You can land pretty safely, and you'll even bounce if you hit it a little bit too hard before you blow up, because the components of your metals are definitely tougher. Versus landing on Neptune is going to be much more dense. And yeah, if you don't have the fuel to basically counter your velocity, you are going to blow into smithereens.
Yeah, you're gonna have to calculate your thrust, and dude, having to take gravity into account is incredible. And I saw earlier in this clip though that it looked like the base itself was buildable on this. I don't remember that from the first game. From the first game, I just remember your ship piece by piece by piece, and you had like full catalog of parts to choose from. But if you can build your bases on this as well, that's gonna be huge, man.
Yeah, so that's what I was talking about on the colonization part. So imagine not only going to the moon and, everything, you have to bring everything, with you. So if you want to have a rover on the moon, you got to bring the rover to the moon, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But being able to colonize the moon and having a manufacturing facility there to develop your own rover and explore the whole moon and to colonize, yeah, it's going to add a whole other dynamic to it. Here it is. build a space program, construct powerful spacecrafts, design resource gathering colonies, and much more to uncover the secrets of the galaxy.
So you do have to farm resources on the planets that you inhabit.
Yes, and there are going to be colonies.
Wow. Is this PC only?
Um, that's a good question.
And they put a lot of thought into this. I can't imagine like the research they would have to do in the.
No, it's on consoles as well.
Yeah, this is like one of the top wish listed games on Steam. From what I read.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
I'm ready to see the graphics of it, like the detail of planets. I'm a huge space buff, as you know, and I love just anything in space. Footage looks pretty good.
Yeah, one thing that they want to really help out is like I said, I've watched hundreds of hours of videos on the first game, and I played hundreds of hours, and like I said, the best accomplishment I've made was going to the moon and back. So it is very incredible. I've spent hours trying to just catch up. Like I've had a rocket get to orbit, and then that Kerbal, or that, we'll say human, but they're called Kerbals. They're little species. They're in orbit, and they ran out of fuel, and so I have to leave them there because I'm in career mode. And so now I have to do a rescue mission. And I've spent hours trying to calculate when's the best time to take off, when's the best time to meet him, how do I save as much fuel as possible so I can have him do an EVA, so basically spacewalk to my ship and then make it back to the planet.
Damn, that sounds complex.
Oh, very complex. But one of the big things that they've worked on is way more advanced and easier learning tutorials and UI to really help you out. That way you're not like me and spend hundreds of hours of struggling.
To make it to the moon once.
Yeah.
100 hours to get there once and back.
Yeah, they're spending a long time. And so obviously as technology advances, they're going to be able to add a whole lot more to physics, and as well as space parts. So you're gonna be able to play with next generation engines, parts, fuel, and like so much more.
Man, I might have to pick this one up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hopefully now with next generation engines and stuff, I can make it to the moon and back no problem. A little bit of help there.
Yeah. And that simpler UI is going to help out a lot of people too, especially on console. I couldn't imagine like typing in all the numbers and everything as you did on PC. Doing that shit on console would be tedious.
Yeah, well, I would definitely pick it up on PC because this was one of the best modding communities I've ever been involved in a game, and they had a mod for everything. I mean, you want a Halo spacecraft, you got it, but a lot of it was mods that would help you out, the more in-depth technology, more AI to help, basically put your ship on autopilot and so on and so forth. The modding community was amazing, and I'm sure they're just going to further endorse that modding community with the new game.
Bless the modding community, man. They go so hard on so many games.
Yeah,
like Skyrim would not have lasted as long as it did if it was not for the modding scene.
Brand new to Kerbal Space Program 2 are colonies. These colonies not only pose their own physics challenges, but also require resource gathering to build structures, space stations, habitations, and unique fuel types. Eventually, these colonies become advanced enough for vehicle construction, propelling deep space and beyond. Propelling deep into space and beyond.
I wonder how many planets they plan to release. Yeah, that said PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Yeah.
Interstellar travel, next-gen tech, colonies, and systematic resource gathering all lead to a whole new level of exploration. Interstellar travel. In Kerbal Space Program 2, these interstellar technologies paved the way to a host of new celestial bodies, each compromising new challenges and harboring new secret treasures. Among them, Oven, a ringed spear Earth. Oven, a ringed super Earth with relentless gravity. Rask and Rusk, a binary pair locked in a Dance of Death, and many more to reward exploration.
That sounds pretty good, man.
Oh, right there on their website too. Multiplayer and modding. The technological developments made to the foundations of Kerbal Space Program 2 will build on the beloved modding capabilities of the original game, as well as deliver on the long-requested addition of multiplayer. Soon, players will be able to share the challenges of deep space exploration. More details on these features will be revealed at a later time. That's huge.
That is
Game
huge.
multiplayer, and like I said, of course, they're going to endorse modding again.
Man, that's gonna double the features of this game.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and if they allow modding right out of the gate too, oh my gosh, dude, the crowd is going to bring in.